Hey everybody, it's Scott, Simcoe Spring Service, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We just wrapped up at the Norfolk County Fair for 2025, and we just got everything cleaned up yesterday. And I'd like to thank everybody for coming out to see us. We had tons of people come down to the booth and really made it a memorable event. The Norfolk County Fair is a 7-day show. It is open around 12 to 14 hours a day. It is a big, complex fair. And I'd like to talk to you about it today. I've never done such a big show before. I don't think there's many shows that are this big that you can go to and have a booth at. It's something I've been thinking about doing for like 10 years. It's always been very daunting to me. There's a lot of man hours involved, a lot of expenses involved, and actually go through all of that today in this video. I'll break down how much it cost us, how many hours we spent there, and what it was all involved in the making, creating, and producing of an event like this. But first things first, we had a draw at the Norfolk County Fair. You could enter to win. Our big draw was a MORryde CRE 3000 equalizer kit right here, and the heavy duty bolts and bushings to go with it, installed for free. Or you could trade it in for a $900 store credit for any kind of parts that you want at our retail location here in Norfolk County. We had 212 entries, and that was impressive for me. I figured we'd get a couple hundred. We did get a couple hundred. I'm impressed with that. Thanks for the turnout, guys. I really appreciate it. Which means that we had hundreds, if not maybe even up to 1,000 people swing by our booth and even just take a look at us. So sometimes it's about exposure, not necessarily about the interaction, because people see you over and over again and be like, hey, I know that place. But today we're going to be doing the draw. First of all, I'm actually going to draw it right now. First draw is for this, and the second draw is for a Fastenal swag bag with hat, shirt, little car. I threw some chocolates in there and some discount cards for our store. So here's our 212 ballots that were filled out. I counted them all yesterday. And yeah, we'll just lay them down, do a wash, and pick one. And just so I can't cheat, I'm gonna dump them back in the bin. So I can't see the names on them. There you go. Digging deep, pulling out, and the big winner is John. All right, I give him a call right now. See what he says.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Hi, John. It's Scott, Simcoe Spring Service. Just leaving you a message here. I just wanted to let you know that I just did my draw for the fair, and you won the $900 gift card for our shop here. And I'm just going to text you here in a second too. But just letting you know that you can get the MORryde CRE 3000 equalizers and the bushings installed in your trailer, or you can have the $900 gift card. So just give me a call back, and we'll figure out how you want to do this. All right, thanks. Bye. So there you go. Hopefully it gives me a call back. I always knew it was going to be hard to get a hold of people, so that's why I asked if people could text or call. So let's do our second draw here. Just sliced my finger open. So let's do our second draw here, and let's give it on the edge. This will be for the Fastenal swag bag. Edward. All right, we'll give him a call. Hi, can I speak to Edward?
This is Edward.
Hi, it's Scott, Simcoe Spring Service. You filled out a draw at the fair for us, and we had two draws. So the first one's already been claimed, but you won the second one. So it's a Fastenal grab bag with hat, shirts, a little die-cast car, some candies, and some discount coupon cards for our shop.
Nice.
So
Okay.
you can pick.
I'll have to come up and pick them up then.
Yeah, so you can pick that up anytime between 8 and 5, Monday to Friday. It'll be at the front desk for you.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, have yourself a good day.
Yeah, you too.
All right.
Okay.
My- Cool. That was exciting and weird. Well, there you go. Well, hopefully John gets back to me. If he doesn't, we'll have to chase him down. I did say to everybody that we wouldn't harass people unless they won. So these are all going to get burned. We don't collect your information. It's all good. We had fun. I enjoyed it. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of having a booth at a fair for a 7-day event. So first things first, layout and setup. So as you can see, I got these beautiful banners that we had printed behind me, but I'll show you in the pictures here that basically you couldn't see very much of the bottom half. So the top half was very prominent, but because of the table height, our chairs, and the layout of the booth, the bottom half of the banners weren't like very readily accessibly visible. So, I mean, it was kind of mostly just like filler. I kind of wanted to really prominently show the truck, installation of lift kits. I mean, I talked to more people about lift kits than literally anything else at the fair. So this banner worked out extraordinarily well. This banner was not so prominently used. I think only one person scanned the QR code because it was in the back of the booth. So if you want to have a good banner and a good setup, you got to have your QR codes for any of your social media stuff right at the very, very, very front. That was a big mistake on my behalf. And yeah, it's just a shame. I really should have had something more prominently set up right on the table here, right up front. Now we did have some coil springs laid out on the table. Big hit. That was probably the most talked about thing in the entirety of the booth was coil springs. So I took them off for like about 3 or 4 hours, and then I immediately put them back on because nobody stopped by our booth. Coil springs, very prominently well-known shape, very recognizable. Some people only spend about 1 second, maybe 1.5 seconds looking at your booth before they decide whether or not they're interested in you. And there's a lot of people that would stand way back and go, oh, oh. And then they slowly walk up to us trying to figure out what we were. So because we're such a unique company, we're almost like a niche within a niche within a niche, because there's like automotive repair and then like suspension repair, and it's like we're kind of a rare shop. So it's really hard to market and advertise to. But out of the 212 ballots that we got, I would say 150 of them I actually chatted to people about and had really good conversations. So it was really, really interesting to try to show people and educate them like what we do and what we have to offer. Like we had a PV Mart closed down in our town here, and they would sell like miscellaneous like trailer parts. So they'd have like the jack stands and some tires and a few other things. Nothing like crazy, but you know, it was another avenue for people to get trailer parts. It's really hard for us to advertise to people that we have a full trailer parts store in our shop here. Like the only thing we don't stock, ironically, is tires because there's too many shapes and sizes and too many different brands. We need to have quite a bit of retail space for that. But you know, we have all the suspension components, we have all the stuff like that. So I really think that I should have had this. My logo should have been down, and the QR code would have been down, and offering full trailer parts store or something like that. Like it should have been more prominently displayed. But hey, live and learn, So it's something to think about if I do decide to want to do another booth. So the banners worked really well, but also not as well as I thought they would. I thought they would bring up more conversation, but sometimes you only spend like a minute and a half talking to somebody. So it's really hard to get a massive amount of data shoved into somebody in a brief period of time when they're casually walking around a fair. I probably talked to myself personally at least over 100 people and told them where we were. That's how few people I recognized and knew. Like I maybe saw a few dozen people that I had actually known already, and everyone else was new, which was actually kind of surprising. I thought I'd see a parade of people that I knew throughout the event. I thought it'd just be like, hey man, like all customers and stuff like that. But yeah, I only saw like maybe a dozen, maybe 20 customers, and that was it, or people I'd known. So yeah, getting exposure to a big group of different people that you normally wouldn't, it's pretty cool. Another thing that I think is interactive displays. we had nothing that was super interactive. I printed off a whole bunch of like little 3D miniatures, and I'll show you a picture right here of what they look like. Halloween themed, stuff like that. We gave out quite a few of those. We'll get into it later when I do the stats at the very end. But that was fun. It was fun because like if I'm talking to the dad about his truck and his kids are there, it was something fun to give to the kids. We also did candy as well. So that was kind of a nice touch. And I think if I didn't have that, it would have been extraordinarily boring if I didn't have something to give out like candy or something like that. So even though the candy is expensive nowadays, it was actually quite beneficiary. Just for your own mental health. Because if you sit there for 2 hours and don't talk to anybody, and then all of a sudden there's like a burst of a whole bunch of people, that 2 hours is a struggle. So yeah, just having a way to interact with your customers. We're thinking about maybe doing like a spinny wheel, because we had a spinny wheel for a prize next to us, and man, was it popular. Like everybody was running towards that thing. Everybody wanted to spin that thing. So there's different ways that you can interact with people, and that was a lesson learned too. So very fascinating. But yeah, just a bunch of lessons learned. Having something that people can see, interact with, touch is very, very important. You can't just have like infinite like banners and posters up and not have something that people can see or smell or taste or touch. You know, we explore life with our senses. So all those senses, you know, if you can stimulate them in one way, shape, and form, it's going to be beneficial. There was a couple of booths there that had like an overhead, like even inside they had like a little tent that they were inside of, and they could put their name at the front, or they could hang stuff off of there, and that was kind of an interesting touch too. So tons and tons of different ways you can set up. Definitely if I do another trade show, I'm gonna be changing everything, but that's for another day. So I guess to wrap up, there's lots of lessons learned, and it gives me lots to think about. And maybe if I had like a little prize wheel or something like that, that'd be kind of fun to interact and play with people and, you know, experience and stuff like that. Because interacting with people, that's literally the entire purpose of all of it. So another thing too that people don't talk about is the price of these things. Now this is marketing and advertising. This is an expense. It's not cheap. So let's go through some of the expenditures. I have written down here because there's a lot of them. So essentially this is marketing and advertising. This is an expense. We didn't sell anything at the fair. So this was 100% outreach, marketing and advertising. So this is an expense, and we'll go through some of the costs. Now the back banner, I don't have it here, but I'll show it to you right here. So this banner is about $100. We got it at Vistaprint. The two displays here were $540. We designed them ourselves, so we didn't have any expense there, which saved us some money. We had a shelving unit on the side, which we displayed a lot of our trailer parts and truck parts and stuff like that on. I already own them. I bought them like 2 years ago. So that was also a no cost because I already own them. The table and the tablecloth, we bought this specifically for the event because all my other tables are a lot smaller, and I wanted the biggest table I could fit in the area. So I purchased a new table and the cloths to go over them. That was $155. I bought it on Amazon. So we had our giveaways, and that was $1,000. So, you know, that's a pretty big expense, but I wanted to have something worthwhile to interrupt people and bug them on their day. Like, I don't like it when people give away $50 gift cards. It's like, you can't buy anything at our shop for $50. Like, you can buy like 2 U-bolts, but like, realistically, if you want to buy some springs, or if you want to buy like a leveling kit or something like that, like we can install a leveling kit in a Chevy pickup truck for like we can do almost 2 of those. Like, there's a lot of like stuff, a lot of kits and stuff that we can install for between $350 and $750. So I liked it because it was a nice number that covered a lot of the really small jobs that we do, and maybe gives them a couple bucks to go shopping with. So, and we do provide stuff other than just your normal suspension stuff. I have access to all sorts of different suppliers for like lift kits, leveling kits. I can get tonneau covers and a bunch of other stuff. So I thought that was a good number. And also I basically based it off the More Ride stuff installed with all the labor and all that fun stuff together. We spent $250 on candy. I never thought I'd spend that much money on candy in my entire life, but we had to resupply so often because people love the candy that we were giving out. And the better the candy you had, the more people that showed up to our booth. So we got the good stuff. Meals. My crew ate $500 worth of food there. Fair food is expensive. Our booth was $1,000. And then basically comes into the grand total of time. Time is the most expensive thing that I had to spend at the fair. So time spent, I spent 25 and a half hours organizing. So that's like setting up setting up like planning these out, ordering them, stuff like that, figuring out layouts, drawing it up, all that sort of stuff. I spent 8.5 hours doing actual layout planning. So that video that I shot, that took a day. Basically our setup. So actually setting the booth up itself, I took 3 trips to the fair because I didn't know what I was doing. And I ended up setting it up in 10.5 hours worth of labor. I could have probably cut that down in half if I was actually paying attention to what I was doing. Actual booth hours. So we spent 133 hours in the booth. Cleanup took 6 hours. It took me 8.5 hours to regroup after the fair. So that's like checking my emails and dealing with like all of the logistical stuff afterwards, and just cleaning up all the stuff I couldn't take care of during the fair. So that's a huge time as well. So a grand total of 192 hours. So basically, if I were to have to pay that out in labor, that would be $5,760 worth of labor, for a grand total of $9,310 to have a booth for a week at the fair. Now, there's one thing. My wife and I manned the booth for as many hours as we physically were capable of. I actually spent 87.5 hours there. So to get those costs down, it actually saved us almost exactly $5,000 worth of labor by doing it ourselves. So the amount of hours that my wife and I spent in there helped us save that much money. So the actual total bill paid out in cash for manning the booth, taking care of our food, and handing out prizes was $4,300. And I made not one single penny of sales because I forgot to set up my booth properly to sell stuff. So yeah, lesson learned for next year. I'm definitely going to be selling these kits and not giving it away in a prize. I should have had a display set up like this to sell them. I didn't. That was my fault. I wasn't paying attention or thinking things clearly enough. I could have probably sold at least 8 or 10 of these kits, so an average of 1 to 2 a day, and I probably could have made like, an extra $1,000, $1,500. So yeah, lesson learned on that one. So actual cost, $4,300. And some of the stats are we gave out 10 bags of candy or boxes of candy. We had 212 people put their names in for the draw. We gave away 394 3D printed little toys. And I had 100 hours of unpaid labor to do this. So yeah, if you're thinking about doing a big event like this, either A, set yourself up to sell components to help cover the costs of your labor, or prepare to work for free. I'm still tired. So anyhow, I thought that was some good information. I learned a lot of lessons. If I'm going to do this again, I'm definitely going to spend the extra $1,000 and get a booth twice the size, and then set up an entire retail store in there so I can at least sell items. And worst case scenario, if they're too heavy, I can always do free shipping. That would have been a lot better. So that was, I think, the biggest lesson learned out of all this. I really should have not been so cheap because I thought the booth was the expensive part. The booth wasn't the expensive part. The time was. Because there's only 3 things that you can spend in life. You can spend time, you can spend money, and you can spend energy. And that took 100% of my time and 100% of my energy, and I wish I would have spent more money. But I only had a month or 6 weeks to plan this thing, so I'm not going to kick myself in the butt too hard. But there you go. That's all my stats. That's all the information. I thought I'd let you know. Have yourself a great time. Have yourself a great evening. I'll catch you next time. Take care, everybody. Good night.